I'm Pip Waller and this is Being Human. And this is the second part of the series about gardening your gut. So how to look after your gut flora, how to make sure that it's healthy, or if you already know it's pretty probably isn't healthy, what to do about it. So the kind of how to know if your gut flora isn't healthy, well, you could have digestive problems, irritable bowel syndrome, that kind of thing. Any kind of digestive problem can come from it. It's very common. But actually, you might not have any digestive symptoms at all. You might think, oh, my digestion's fine, but still have some of these other problems and that could be a real indication that your gut flora isn't that great. So those things include, particularly big red flag, is any kind of autoimmune disorder. That includes some sort of things, some pretty serious things like diabetes, type insulin-dependent diabetes, to rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, also with skin diseases like psoriasis, and pretty much any autoimmunity, actually, when the situation when there's an inflammation in the body that's come about as your immune system's got confused and is sort of attacking your own body. So mood issues, you can have quite serious depression. I'm talking about even clinical depressions and real mood disorders. Mental health issues can be coming from an unhealthy gut. That's very, very common. Skin eruptions, acne, like I said, psoriasis, but also eczema, spots, anything really, any problems with the skin, big red flag. And even cancer actually can be can come about because a healthy gut biome is absolutely essential for your immune system to function well, and without a good functioning immune system you can't sort out cancer, you can't keep cancer away or under control in the body. And also endocrine disorders like hormonal disorders of all kinds can be coming from this gut dysbiosis. Okay, so certain things in our lifestyle will have caused the gut biosis right from the beginning. If we don't have if we're born in hospital with very sort of sterile surroundings, if we don't have a normal birth, we have a cesarean, and if we're not breastfed, we might never have, even as an infant, have really had a good chance to have a healthy colony grow in our gut. And then if we've had repeated antibiotics wipe out all the healthy bacteria, and then it makes often more space for the unhealthy ones to grow. Other drugs that can be involved in a gut dysbiosis are non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. That's things like ibuprofen, and also the contraceptive pill. Big key red flag. People that have been on the pill for any length of time could have an upset dysbiosis. So let's say we've established, oh, my gut's not very healthy, what are we going to do about it? So the foundation level of thing to do is to sort out your diet. You must cut out the foods that feed the unhealthy bacteria. That's sugar and alcohol are the two key ones. And processed foods. All processed foods contain sugar anyway, so you just ditch them. They contain so many things that are bad. And you need to get in lots more fresh, high fibre vegetables is what you want. So lots of fresh vegetables in the diet is essential. And then the other thing to try and do is to try and get a habit of having fermented foods, introduce fermented foods into your diet. So a lot of people have yogurt. Yogurt can be okay, but yogurt's not great. It's like perhaps it's got 100 million, of the necessary bacteria, and for a daily dose to really sort out dysbiosis, you want 10 to 15 billion. So you can see you can't really eat that much yogurt. Plus, a lot of people, if it's cow's yogurt, a lot of people are intolerant. Plus, yogurt, never any kind of yogurt that's got, fruit yogurt, it's always got sugar in, and that totally cancels out anything good about it. That's the same true of those little drinks you can get, like, yogurt-based drinks, probiotics, but they're full of sugar, and the sugar's feeding the bad bacteria, so they're a complete waste of time. It's just a marketing gimmick. Don't waste your money. Better than yogurt is kefir. Now, kefir is like at least 20 times stronger than yogurt in terms of the bacteria. You can buy it, or even better, you get hold of some of the culture and you grow it yourself. So I have it with milk because I can tolerate dairy, but many people can't tolerate cow's milk, in which case you're better off to get goat's milk kefir, or you can also get a different kind of kefir, but very similar, that will grow on coconut milk, and then you could take that have it as just part of your daily input. What else? Sauerkraut, like a kind of pickled cabbage. You can buy it, you can learn to make it. I've never managed to make it successfully, but I have bought some really delicious stuff. You need to make sure it's proper fresh sauerkraut, not nothing that's been pasteurized, because obviously then all the stuff's been killed off. It's got to be live, full of the live stuff. So sauerkraut. What else? There's a thing called kimchi. It's quite similar to sauerkraut. There's miso. There's pickles. Especially good is apple cider vinegar. A lot of people swear by that. Helps the gut health. It's anti-inflammatory. It's great for loads of things, and you can just have like tablespooning water every day. Did I say kombucha? Anyway, there's a kind of a drink. Kombucha comes from a cultured drink, and again, you can get the culture and you can make it yourself. It's made from tea. I've got some of that growing. Actually, it's quite nice with green tea. So those are your basic, things in place for your diet. But then sometimes you need to do something more because you've really got a big problem. So the two ways of treating it, you need to kill off the bad bacteria and you need to take in lots more of the good bacteria. And you do that with supplements. So if you just take in the good bacteria, for sometimes that's enough, just having a supplement. Now, the most common one is acidophilus. But acidophilus, I've recently found out, it's not really the best one, because in one way it's good because it grows really fast. So it'll quickly, colonize in the gut and help if the situation's really dire. But it'll also take over too much. And if you think about, if you've got a really healthy gut, it's got between 300 and 500 different strains of bacteria. You don't want just loads of acidophilus in there. You want kind of a mixture. So nowadays it's better. I would say it's better to avoid a pure acidophilus and always have things that have got a lot of different stuff in them. You can contact me and I can give you a really good place in the UK, a really good place to get supplements, the best one. Also, if you're not sure quite what to do, I can do online Skype-like consultations. So just contact me if you want that, either through comments here, or you can find me on Facebook very easily, Pip Waller, Being Human. Okay, acidophilus, so it colonizes really quickly. So what happens? You end up with too much of it. Now, there's a better one. The one that I've discovered that is a better one it's also a lactobacillus, so it's similar to that, but it is rhamnosus. Lactobacillus rhamnosus, that's a better one, Lactobacillus rhamnosus. That's a great one to repopulate your gut. It's particularly good for immune system, nervous system, and it also has this effect of helping against inflammation in the gut, like inflammatory bowel diseases of all kinds, because it helps to increase your healthy mucus production, the mucus that lines your gut and protects it from harm. So that is L. rhamnosus, Lactobacillus rhamnosus. Now, if you've got a lot of bad stuff growing, it might be Candida yeast, it might be higher up, it might be, you can get a bacterial overgrowth, a bad bacterial overgrowth in the small intestine. That's called SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Then sometimes the probiotics are really not good, particularly acidophilus are really not good if you've got that. You really then have to take some things to kill off the bad guys. So I'd go for the botanical antibiotics, like my favourite one is barberry, Berberis vulgaris. You can also use oregano and thyme, and olive leaf people are using for that, olive leaf extract. And then you'd also, at the same time, or very soon after, you will be taking the beneficial microbes to colonize. And one of the best ones, if you've got SIBO, it's actually not a bacteria, it's actually a kind of yeast, but it's a healthy one, and that is called Saccharomyces boulardii, S. boulardii. That's the one for SIBO, for Candida. It's also found to be really good for antibiotic-related diarrhea, even for C. difficile, which is that nasty thing that people get when they've been in hospital for a while and too many antibiotics, and it's like almost like a bit of a superbug that's really colonized the gut, and it's very difficult to get rid of. But if you have been in hospital for a long time, or you're really particularly poorly, don't try and do this by yourself, because sometimes some people who are very poorly in certain ways should not take probiotics. So if you're in any doubt, please do find a good nutritional therapist, a doctor that actually knows about this stuff. Sometimes you can find them, rarely in my experience in the UK, but they do exist. Or like I say, you can contact me and I can do online consultations or sometimes just give you a bit of written advice. So let me think. Espouladii, that's a great one for helping to regrow. Now, one thing that can happen when you take probiotics, when you're putting in the good stuff and the bad stuff's dying off, is you don't always feel that great. Really very, very common when you first start to change things is you get things like bloating, bit of wind, bit too much, like your bowels change, maybe farting. It's not very nice, even quite painful sometimes. Now, if that happens, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be doing this. It's bad for you. What it means is you have got a problem with the bad bacteria, and their death, the change, it means they're dying off, and when they die off, they produce toxins that make these symptoms. So one thing you can do is you can take charcoal, activated charcoal, take charcoal tablets at the same time, and it sort of soaks up the bad stuff and just gets you through that transitional period. If you're not sure about that, again, take advice, consult. But it should settle down within a couple of weeks, sometimes sooner. But persevere, because it actually feeling a bit ill on the probiotics can mean that you really seriously need them. But again, the foundation is sorting out your diet. You don't want to be poisoning the bad bacteria with one thing, but feeding them with another. Okay, so I think that's enough for this. It's a complicated subject. Have patience. It takes time, like with any real big improvements in your health. Often they take time. So thanks for listening. I'm Pip Boller. This is Being Human. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, I did this video because I had a request from one of my viewers. So thanks very much to you for giving me that, asking me that. And if anyone else has got any requests, anything you'd like me to talk about, please do let me know.